Has your electricity bill this month left you stunned? If you're thinking this might be a mistake on part of your power utility, well, it might not be. Millions across the country are having to pay unprecedented amounts in their power bills this month, and you're not the only one. Here's why. The government is charging you extra under the head of Fuel Cost Adjustment or FCA, and this time the high FCA rates have resulted in whopping electricity bills for almost all users across the country. So, what is FCA? At the start of every fiscal year, the government comes up with a reference fuel cost to produce 1 unit of electricity. Pakistan generates a large chunk of power using coal, oil and LNG, almost all of which it imports, and there is often a lot of fluctuation in global fuel prices, often multiple times in a month. The last few months have been particularly volatile in terms of fuel prices internationally. In such a scenario, the government calculates an average rate for the actual price of fuel used to produce 1 unit of electricity after the month ends. When this actual cost is higher than the reference cost, consumers pay for it in the succeeding months. So for example, the government charged consumers a reference fuel cost of Rs 5.93 per unit in June. We have already paid our bills for June at this rate. However, because global fuel prices on average moved upwards during that month, the actual cost per unit borne by the government turned out to be Rs 15.84. Based on this, the government has decided that we will be paying around Rs 10 per unit of the total electricity we consumed in June in our August bills, which we will receive in September. Right now, most people around the country have received bills for the electricity they consumed in July, which includes FCA charges of around Rs 5 per unit on power consumed during May and around Rs 3 per unit on April consumption. Next month, when you pay FCA on units consumed in June, which has been fixed at around Rs 10 per unit, your bills could even be higher. Even though global fuel prices have now fallen compared to June-July levels, the impact of this drop will not be transferred to Pakistan's power consumers anytime soon, because the government had bought extra fuel in June and July when rates were peaking, and it did not import fuel during August because it had enough reserves to produce electricity.